Welcome children in geography class. Let's see this video
Fossil fuel
first.
is a term used to describe a group of energy sources that were formed from ancient plants and organisms during the Carboniferous period approximately 360 to 286 million years ago, even before the age of dinosaurs. At that time, the land was covered with swamps filled with organisms and plants. As they died, they sank to the bottom of swamps and oceans and over millions of years started decomposing under layers of sand, clay, and other minerals. Different types of fossil fuels formed depending on the combination of organic matter, temperature, time, and pressure conditions while decomposing. There are three major types of fossil fuels: coal, oil, and natural gas. Coal was formed from ferns, plants, and trees, which hardened due to pressure and heat. Oil was formed from small organisms like zooplankton and algae, where pressure caused the more complex organic matter to decompose. Natural gas was formed by the same process as oil, only it was exposed to more heat and pressure, causing it to further decompose and turn into a gaseous form. Fossil fuels are sought-after energy sources because they have a high energy density. They are the world's dominant energy source. Fossil fuels have a variety of applications from electricity production to transport fuels. They can also be used to make a variety of common products, from plastics to cosmetics to even some medicines. These resources have powered industrialization over history and continue to do so today. Fossil fuels can be an abundant and cheap, or in some cases, a scarce and expensive form of energy, depending on geographic location. For this reason, geopolitical issues arise due to scarcity caused by the natural geographic allocation of these highly valuable resources. Fossil fuels are considered non-renewable resources because they take millions of years to form, which means that once they are used, the resources will not be replenished in a human lifetime. The gradual depletion of the most accessible fossil fuel reserves have forced companies to develop technologies for extracting more challenging or unconventional reserves. In many cases, this means additional safety and environmental concerns as well as higher costs. Fossil fuels are also the largest emitters of carbon dioxide, a greenhouse gas which causes climate change. In addition, their production causes both environmental and human health issues. These concerns have triggered society to look at alternate sources of energy that are more environmentally sustainable and renewable. That's fossil fuels.
After watching this video, you might have understood the importance of energy resources. Energy resources are not only important for the industrial and the economic development of the country, but they are also important for improving the standard of living. Energy resources can be broadly classified into two types. These are conventional energy resources and non-conventional energy resources. Conventional energy resources are those resources which cannot be compensated once these are used, are termed as conventional sources of energy like coal, petroleum, natural gas. These resources are exhaustible and cause lot of pollution and emit lot of smoke and ash also, whereas the non-conventional energy resources are renewable resources of energy. They can be renewed in a short span of time, like solar energy, wind energy, biogas, tidal energy, geothermal energy, etc. Children, today we will study about the conventional sources of energy, that is coal and petroleum. These sources of energy have been used by man for a long time and still being tapped and used. These sources of energy are non-renewable, exhaustible sources of energy. Coal is the heart of the industrial revolution. It is not only used in the household sector but also used in industries, and today also we are using coal abundantly, not only in the metallurgical sector but in the thermal power plants. In India, 60% of the electricity is produced from the coal. Why? Because of its easy availability and its low cost as compared to the other fuels. What is coal? Coal is an inflammable organic substance composed of hydrocarbons found in sedimentary rocks. It is composed of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, phosphorus as well as sulfur. How coal was formed? Before the dinosaurs, many giant plants died in swamps or in broad deltas, coastal plains or basins as well as in the low-lying areas. Over millions of years, these plants were buried under water and the vegetable matter was subjected to geological processes that resulted in the physical and chemical changes. The mass of vegetative matter was probably changed into coal by the heat and pressure generated by the increasing weight of overlying sediments as well as by the plate tectonic movements under the earth, and because of this heat and pressure as well as the overlying layers of the rocks, the dead plants turn into coal. In this way, the coal was formed. Depending upon the amount of carbon content, moisture, volatile matter, coal can be classified into following categories, that are peat, lignite, bituminous and anthracite. Peat is the first stage of coal transformation of wood to coal. It contains 30 to 40% of carbon content. It emits more smoke, leaves lot of ash after burning because it has carbon content, less carbon content and more of moisture, as it is partially made up of decayed plant matter in the swamps or in deltic areas. That is why it has a low heat content. The second stage of coal is lignite, also known by the name brown coal. It is the second stage of coal and has 40 to 50% of carbon content, good moisture and less combustible matter. The next stage is the bituminous coal. It is the most widely used coal in India because it has 60 to 80% of carbon content. Its calorific value is very high due to high proportion of carbon and low moisture content. It is mainly used for heating, steam raising and production of coke. So, you can see that this bituminous coal is widely found in India and extensively used as a fuel because it has a high heat content, and that is why it is used in mainly particularly in the smelting purposes in the iron and steel industry, in the metallurgical sector as well as for the domestic purposes. The next coal is the anthracite. It is the hardest and ranks highest among the coals. It is shiny, lustrous, almost jet black and so completely compressed that it shows no banded structure. It has a carbon content of 90% and burns slowly without smoke. It burns for a long period of time, leaves very little ash behind, and it has a high calorific value. Its heating capacity is very high, but in India it is found in the limited quantity, that is only in Jammu and Kashmir state. This you can see from the picture that this is the first stage of coal, that is peat. Second is the lignite, also known as brown coal. Third is the bituminous, that is widely found in our country and widely used also. And the last stage is the anthracite, that is the best quality of coal, but due to its limitations it is found in very less quantity in India, only in Jammu and Kashmir state. So that is why it is always blended with the bituminous coal. What are the advantages and disadvantages of using coal as an energy resource? First, let's talk about the advantages. Coal energy is an affordable energy resource because of its stable price as compared to the other energy fuels. Coal is easy to burn. Coal is used as a power for running machines, trains, ships, etc. Coal is also used for the manufacturing of iron and steel for smelting purposes. A variety of chemicals such as ammonia, benzol, etc. are obtained as a byproducts and are widely used in different industries. But there are certain disadvantages also of using coal. They are: coal energy produces large amount of carbon dioxide, which leads to global warming and climate change. Because of using more and more coal, lot of the hydrocarbons are released into the atmosphere, and that lead to the global warming, that will lead to the melting of the glaciers, and it will lead to the climatic changes in the atmosphere. The burning of coal is not environmental friendly because it produces harmful byproducts and gas emissions such as sulfur dioxide, carbon dioxide, nitrogen oxide, that causes pollution to the environment and results in the acid rain. And acid rain is harmful not only for the plants, animals, soil, as well as for the buildings also. Cold energy is non-renewable resource of energy. That means once used cannot be replenished or made in a short span of time. Coal is fast depleting because we consume too much of it, as it is widely used in the domestic sector also, industrial sector also, running of the trains also. So that is why it is depleting as an alarming rate. Cost of production and transportation of coal is quite high because being bulky in nature, its transportation cost is quite high if it is transported to the far-flung areas. Coal of India may be classified under two categories: Gondwana coal reserves and tertiary coal reserves. Let's first talk about the Gondwana coal. It belongs to the Carboniferous period of 570 million years to 245 million years back. These reserves are found in Damodar, Mahanadi, Godavari, Narmada Valley, Raniganj, Jharia, Bokaro, Talcher and Wardha Valley, etc. in India. Over 98% of the total coal reserves of India belong to Gondwana coal period. Mainly bituminous and anthracite type of coal is found in the Gondwana coal fields, in which the carbon content varies between 60 to 90%. These are the Gondwana coal fields in Odisha, West Bengal, Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh. So these are the areas in which the bituminous type of coal is found in India. Next, we will be talking about the tertiary coal fields of India, and these coal fields are 15 to 60 million years old. These coal fields are known by the name the brown coal because majority of the tertiary coal fields are covered with the lignite coal fields, contributes only about 2% of the total coal production of the country. That means the minimum amount of coal is found in these areas. The tertiary coal fields are mainly have a higher percentage of moisture, more sulfur, and that is why they emits more ash, more smoke, but has low calorific value. And this is the coal generally found in the Assam, Arunachal Pradesh, Meghalaya, and then the Nagaland, as well as in the southern part in the Neyveli regions of our country. So this is about the tertiary coal fields of India. Next conventional source of energy is petroleum. What is the meaning of the word petroleum? Petroleum is derived from two Latin words, petra meaning rock and oleum meaning oil. Thus, petroleum is the oil obtained from sedimentary rocks. It is a complex mixture of hydrocarbons. Petroleum is also called liquid gold because of its high price and value and its economic need by all the countries, and not even a tiniest part of crude petroleum goes waste or remains unused. So that is why petroleum is known as a liquid coal. There are so many advantages of petroleum using as a fuel. Number one is it has a high density. It means 1 kilogram of oil can generate 10,000 kilocalories of energy. It has revolutionized the transportation sector. It means this is the only fuel that can be used in all the three spheres, that is land, water and air. It can be easily transported with the help of pipelines as well as with the help of tankers. It emits very little smoke and leaves no ash and can be used till its last drop. Petroleum has a broad areas for application. It means it is used not only for producing power generation, but it is also used for making synthetic rubber, synthetic fiber, PVC and film photography, etc. It is a crucial element in industries. Number of industries using petroleum as a raw material like lubricating oil, paints, varnishes as well as the chemical industry. But there are certain disadvantages also of using petroleum, as petroleum is a limited resource and a non-renewable resource of energy, as it is an exhaustible resource. Once used, cannot be replenished in a short period of time. It is a major contributor to air pollution because it generates greenhouse gases that contribute to environmental pollution and lead to the global warming. Petroleum is used to produce other products that are harmful for the environment. Transporting petroleum products overseas can affect the environment. Petroleum costs quite high because of its limited supply and of its high demand. It is highly inflammable and cause fires. During the extraction from the sea or from transportation, if oil spills in water, it can pollute water and cause death of number of marine animals and plants. So, there are different disadvantages also for using petroleum as an energy resource. But there are different disadvantages also using petroleum as an energy resource. Petroleum is a limited resource and non-renewable, exhaustible source of energy, as once used cannot be replenished in a short period of time. It is a major contributor to air pollution because petroleum generates greenhouse gases that contribute to environmental pollution and global warming. Petroleum is used to produce other products that are harmful for the environment. Petroleum costs quite high because of its limited supply and its high demand. It is highly inflammable and cause fires. During extraction from sea or transportation, if oil spills in water, it can not only pollute water but can cause death of number of marine animals and plants. So, there are different disadvantages also using petroleum as an energy resource. Next is a distribution of petroleum in India. The oil production of India is mainly from the three major belts, that is the Assam Arkan belt in the northeast regions of India. The second belt is the Gujarat Cambay belt in the northwest of India and Mumbai High region in India. These are the three major belts from where the petroleum is produced. In order the importance of the main areas, mineral oil deposits are mainly found in these areas. Number one, we will be talking about Mumbai High. Mumbai High is an offshore oil field that is about 176 km long, located off the west coast of Mumbai in the Arabian Sea, and it has a huge oil deposits, and the oil operations are run by oil and natural gas corporations. Geologically, it's a carbonate reservoir and consists of sedimentary cycles of the lagoon and the algae and the coastal marsh. This is a largest oil producing area in India, and it has a reserves of 5 crore tons of oil. So that is why it is an important oil producing region in India. Next is Sagar Samrat. What is Sagar Samrat? Sagar Samrat is a drill ship, a merchant vessel designed to use exploratory offshore drilling of new oil and gas wells or a scientific drilling platform. So it is a self-designed platform, a ship that we have taken from Japan, and its major work is to drill the oil, and oil is taken out at the depth of over 1400 meters with the help of this self-designed platform known as Sagar Samrat. Next we will be talking about the oil refineries of India. What are oil refineries? Crude oil is refined and processed in refineries to produce light distillates like gasoline, LPG, naphtha, diesel, kerosene, petroleum, coke, etc. is produced in India. Most of the refineries are located near the sea coast. There is a reason that the oil can be easily transported. It minimizes the cost of transportation, and it also avoids the risk of transporting oil inside the country due to its inflammable nature, as well as the waste is also disposed of in the oceans also. So that is the reason most of the oil refineries are located near the sea coast. Now when we talk about the oil refineries, most of the oil refineries are in the public sector, that means under government's control, and some of only few oil refineries are in the private sector, and the Reliance Petroleum Limited at Jamnagar is the largest oil refinery in the private sector. Next we will be talking about the different oil fields or the refineries in India. First talk about the West Coast oil refineries in India. So when we talk about the West Coast oil refineries, the Koyali oil refinery in Gujarat, then we have Mumbai oil refinery in Maharashtra, Jamnagar oil refinery, Mangalore oil refinery, and Kochi oil refinery in Kerala, that all are on the west coast of India. Let's talk about the East Coast oil refinery. Haldia oil refinery in Kolkata is on the east coast. Paradip is in Orissa, and then we have the Chennai oil refinery, as well as we have the oil refineries that are located in the northeast of India, like Digboi in Assam oil refinery. It is the oldest oil refinery in our country. Guwahati oil refinery. Then we have Bonaigam oil refinery. Then the inland oil refineries that we have, that is Barauni in Bihar, Mathura in UP, Panipat in Haryana, and Bathinda in Punjab. These are the major oil refineries in India. With this, conventional resources of energy chapter is completed. Children, go through the video carefully, complete your worksheet, and join interactive class tomorrow positively with your doubts. Stay home, stay safe. God bless you.